Okay, good morning. I will call this meeting of Sunday County Commissioners to order for Thursday, September 23rd. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Paradisa, you got prepared for that? Sure.
Beth, you feeling it today?
You got it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, dear God, you've entrusted me with the prayer, so thank you. We're grateful for the rain and everything you've done here for us here in Seneca County. We ask that you look over our meeting, dear God, and bless us with your guiding hand. We welcome all our visitors, and please look over them as well. Amen.
Amen. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Here.
Commissioner Paradisa?
Present.
Commissioner Shaw?
Present.
Okay. So I will accept the motion to approve the digital audio video recording of our previous session held September 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion, any changes? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradisa?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Yes. Okay, so we've got 10:15 for a ditch hearing, so we'll start with the administrator's report here, let's see how long we can get.
I have nothing today.
You have nothing today,
I
my
have nothing
goodness
today.
gracious, okay.
Make it
Commissioner,
short today.
boy, I guess so. Commissioner Schaaf.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. Attended the Tiffin City Council meeting here this week. That was on Monday. Was excited to see them get their art commission up and going. So I think that'll be neat. They got Ryan Pungan kind of spearheading that, and it'll be neat to see what's going to be happening here around the city and the county with some of those artistic people that are better at doing that stuff than I am. Also on that, wanted to congratulate new hire Chief David Pauley, who will be taking over for Tiffin City Police Department. Looking forward to working with him and seeing what he brings to the table, and it'll be a nice new adventure here for the city. We also have the Seneca County Sweep coming up here this next Tuesday. It'll be September 28th. It'll be in Bloomville, and that'll be at 2 o'clock. Excited, we got some new partners coming into it. Wanted to thank Ben and his group for supplying the roll-off Winway Solutions. Working with the Bloomville Development Group, the Sheriff's Department. They're going to bring some people out from the jail. We got our normals coming out from Crossway and community members, so looking forward to going out to Bloomville and giving some love out there to the village and picking up some stuff while we can. Gave an update to WTTF this morning. It was on the radio. Also tonight we have the Downtown Summit. That'll be at the Chandelier, just down here, down the street on Madison. For the Downtown Summit, it'll be at 7 o'clock. Also, I know Commissioner Paradiso 9, I'm not sure if you're coming, but this Monday we have CCAO, which is our County Commissioners Association of Ohio. We have some training up in Bowling Green here this Monday, and that'll take up a nice chunk of the day, so looking forward to that. Wanted to congratulate SCYP 2 on a very successful downtown pizza party. Drive through downtown, I mean, there had to be 1,500 to 2,000 people down there. It was nice to see people out supporting local. Wanted to also congratulate Bloomville too for putting up some new signs. They have a new Welcome to Bloomville sign, and it looks really nice out there, so congratulations to that village and their development group for putting those up. And then that's all I have for now.
All right, good week. Commissioner Paradiso.
Yeah, thanks. I unfortunately couldn't make downtown. I was out in Attica at the Township Association meeting. Mr. Frank was there, our prosecutor, our auditor. It was a full crowd, good meeting, a lot of good networking. Broadband, cybersecurity were the topic. They brought someone up from Columbus to talk. I thought it was a really good meeting. Good to see everybody. Monday night I attended Eden Township meeting. Had a nice discussion with our friends there, the 3 trustees, as they are now evaluating EMS for Eden County, which is something they have highly encouraged them to at least create a process and spend the time now to look at what you have and what your options are. And I think that was very productive. Tuesday night, went to New River Village, spoke to them, answered some questions about broadband, about EMS. They had some questions about sewer, their sewer situation. That's in motion. They scored very high, and there was an application in for a grant to, we haven't heard back yet, but we've applied through our engineer for a grant that would fund the entire, there is a study, but it would fund the architectural drawings so they would be ready to go for bid. And they're waiting to hear back from that. As that process moves forward, at some point, very possible they will come to the commissioners to refinance the debt that they currently have and maybe look at some additional debt to complete their new sewer project. So it's being vetted and discussed. We're probably a year out on that yet, but it's talked about. So I thought that was real well. Did not attend the Bloom Scipio meeting last night, but talked to Mayor Lyric, and he said the meeting went very well. Just had a few questions, but he thought it was a pretty productive meeting as they internally talked about their issues. And he said, look forward to seeing you at our meeting. So that was good. Saturday, I am the MC at the Alzheimer's Walk out at the park. Looking forward to that. Mitch Felton's on vacation. He's the honorary chairman, so I'll be the one out there Saturday morning. Looking forward to it. That's it. Thanks.
Okay. Very good. Let's talk about old business here. We have the Continental Street vacation that we had presented to us last week.
Yep. I had followed up with both Mark and Derek after the meeting, and they're still in agreement that it can't be approved because of the landlock of the property owner.
Okay. Gentlemen, what's your pleasure with that?
I think we need to follow the advice of our engineer and our legal counsel.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I feel for the owners. I think they made a nice case, and the trustees were here, and I'd like to do it, but I'm prepared to vote and follow the recommendation of our prosecutor.
So I assume that's a motion and a second?
That is correct. I'll make a motion that we accept the advice, deny the vacation.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. Kylie?
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay, I think it's close enough. Kylie, let's try to call Wyandotte County here.
So if we add this meeting up and we average it with last meeting, we're still one of the longest meetings of all time.
This one isn't over
We
yet.
recessed, came back at 2:30,
I saw.
and we're here till 3:45. We love our jobs.
I'm sorry that I was in Boston. I apologize.
Try to watch on your phone.
The big smile's kind of.
Yeah, I really wanted to be.
Sorry, your call cannot be completed as done.
It's great. David, looking good here for your report.
Hello, you have reached the Commissioner's office at Chip Office. To reach the Commissioner's office or Trexton Hall, press 1. To reach
Is this our lead?
It's our desk.
Hello, Commissioner's office, I may assist you.
Trusted,
Speaking.
this is Kylie from Seneca County, calling to do the ditch hearing.
Yeah. I will transfer you over to the Commissioner.
Thank you.
Your Commissioner.
Turn off at all.
Can you turn it up a little bit? Okay, I got it.
Morning, Wyandotte County Commissioners.
Good morning, this is Seneca County calling for the ditch hearing.
Good, you got all three of us here.
Perfect, and this is Mike Kirshner. How are you, gentlemen?
Fine, how are you, Mike?
Good. All three of us are here as well, so I will have Kylie read the hearing notice. Go ahead, Kylie.
Okay, resolution maintenance assessments for collection in the 2022 for the Seneca and Wyandotte Joint County Ditch maintained by the Seneca County Ditch Maintenance Program. Whereas the Seneca Soil and Water Conservation District administers the Seneca County Ditch Maintenance Program by agreement with the Board of Seneca County Commissioners and the Seneca County Engineer. And whereas the 2021 Ditch Maintenance Inspection Report indicates certain work needed to maintain the ditches on the maintenance program. And whereas the Seneca Soil and Water Conservation District has recommended to the joint boards of Seneca and Wyandotte County Commissioners that the following assessments be collected to fund maintenance work needed in 2022. SC number 11-069, Grinds Joint County, 0%. SC number 12-047, Weiner Joint, 0%. Now therefore be it resolved that the joint board of Seneca and Wyandotte County Commissioners are in agreement with these provisions as detailed herein, and be it further resolved that it is found and determined that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were so adopted in an open meeting of this board, and that all deliberations of this board and of any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the ORC.
Okay, this is Commissioner Paradiso. I'll make a motion that we approve the 2022 maintenance work based on the resolution that was read for Seneca County and Wyandotte County.
This is Commissioner Klinger. I'll second that motion.
Very good. Kylie, roll call Seneca County, please.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes.
Would you like to do roll call for you guys, please?
Yes, Commissioner Klinger, yes. Commissioner Cortez? Yes. Commissioner Batten?
Yes.
Okay, I think that does it this morning, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Kind of hard to argue with the 0% assessment, isn't it?
Yeah, there's, no.
Love it.
Okay, well, it's good talking to you folks this morning.
But you as well.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Beth, quick question, since you made the trip over, thank you. So when we have our hearings that involve Wyandotte, do they ever have hearings? Are they ever the lead down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, who determines that? Based on?
Whoever
who
the
had-
lead county is. It doesn't flip-flop.
Like where the drainage starts, or who has the most
It's
footage?
usually the most footage when
Okay.
it's constructed and placed onto maintenance.
I
That's
got
the
it.
lead county for the future.
I see.
And whoever the lead county is does the inspection, determines the needed work, and then those commissioners are the lead in assessing it. And our
Right, so
auditors all,
We board all the counties,
yeah.
yeah, and so, I get it.
So we share ditches with all of the counties, and so that's why you've had so
Both
many
ways.
different hearings. And some of them are even tri-county projects, which we did at the beginning of the summer, where we have to be on with 3 or 4 counties for the entire drainage improvement to be assessed.
Okay, and is this all private funded by
Yes,
the landowner?
correct, from
And
the,
then you provide the labor as a service, your time?
that is part of the project cost or part of the maintenance cost
Okay,
is the
you're
staff
able to
time.
Charge staff time?
Yes,
accordingly.
correct, the
Okay.
staff time and the contractor work that's done and any work that we do ourselves, so. And each county does a different level of actual work. Meaning, we actually do some of the ditch spraying here, some other counties actually have their own excavators and do their own trucking and excavating work, and some counties only have a staff person that coordinates it and has it all contracted out, but.
And I have one more question, somebody asked me this question, are all your ditches that you're responsible for open ditches?
Yeah, well, no, we do have tile,
So some are, so I can put tile, cover it, that's your responsibility? or
Yeah.
Our responsibility?
it can be, it has to be petitioned and the commissioners have to approve that it gets placed onto the county maintenance program, then it becomes the county's problem to maintain or the county's job to maintain. So not all tile in the county are on it, but all subdivisions in the county have to have their tile on maintenance. Other areas of the county those individual landowners choose to turn that maintenance responsibility over to the county, and that's when an entire main through, 500-700 acres or 1,000 acres would become a maintenance project. So we do have open ditches and tile in our program.
I'm learning every time.
That's-
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's what life is about.
That's a good question.
Okay,
Thank you guys for supporting it.
you bet. Well, we'll go to, I don't believe our health insurance folks are here yet, so we'll go to rural broadband.
All right, well, we're excited to be here to talk with you today and announce that the request for proposals for a strategic plan for rural broadband infrastructure expansion in Seneca County is now live and out there, and we're letting people know today. It is going to be open until the 25th of October. We are looking for firms that have experience in putting together broadband strategic plans, and we will be working on recruiting those firms. I want to give a special shout out to Commissioner Paradiso. We started working on this thing in July. I know the commissioner was meeting with private providers, and we were in some of those meetings, and there's some exciting news from the state about potential money that will be available from now, the Ohio Department of Development, as well as some other ARP money that could potentially be used for broadband expansion. And so after I know Commissioner Paradiso and Audrey and I were in meetings, and we came to the conclusion that the best way to make sure that if any funds were invested, public funds, into broadband infrastructure, we want to make sure as good stewards we're doing it and putting it to good use and making sure there are very limited funds, and broadband infrastructure is very expensive. So where do you do it? How do you do it? What needs to be done? There are 8,000 kids in schools in this county, and we got 24,000 residents in rural Seneca County. How do we make sure the small businesses in rural Seneca County, the kids, when they have to be remote at school, we're seeing it again, that they can get the education that they need, that businesses can get the access to their customers and their suppliers and conduct their business like they need. And so we're very excited to put this out. This has been a really big collaborative process, and that's something that I think is very important. We, in developing with Commissioner Paradiso and the entire commission, how we get a strategic plan, we were working with the North Central Ohio Regional Council of Governments. We were working with the Regional Planning Commission, basically saying how we do this. So we have a lot of expertise at the Tiffin Seneca Economic Partnership in putting together collaborative processes. So we invited every school district, every township, every village in rural Seneca County, plus every private provider that we knew about or heard about to be a part of the Rural Broadband Task Force. That group met on August the 23rd. We had 27 attendees at that meeting, and we presented a draft. We got lots of feedback, and we incorporated all of that feedback into a revised RFP. We sent out the revised request for proposals. It's a big document that's live. If you go to senecabroadband.com, you can get the PDF. We got an address just to make it easy for people. senecabroadband.com, again, goes to a page on our website where you would download the RFP itself. But on the 13th of September, we sent out the revised, and then we got some final additional comments. We wanted to make sure everybody saw it. Everybody was comfortable with what we were asking for. I was kind of joking in some conversation with Stacy that, the better job you do of asking for what you want. And it's not only about where are we at with broadband and where should it be expanded. It's what's your advice on how to structure a program? If the county or townships or anybody wanted to do or the villages wanted to invest some money, how do you structure a program like that? And so we're looking for somebody to really give advice and guidance to the county commissioners, to the township trustees, villages, and anybody else that may want to explore how to go about making this community better in terms of the access to broadband, which we all agree critical for education, critical for economic development, critical for quality of life, because at the end of the day, it's as critical as we have found out over the last 18 months plus as water, sewer, electricity, and natural gas. If kids can't have access to the internet, they can't get education. So that, in my mind, buck stops there. So this is a hugely big thing that the county has done. It says, hey, we would potentially fund this study. We can maybe use some of our funds. And so I really want to commend the commissioners. We're happy to partner with you on it. We're gonna, so get proposals, again, due the 25th. We're gonna send all those proposals out to the entire Rural Broadband Task Force. We're gonna ask them to score them, and we're gonna take the top ones and we're gonna interview them as a group. And then once that person is selected, the North Central Ohio Regional Council of Governments is gonna manage that contract. We're gonna be involved, the commission's gonna be involved, the private, everybody's gonna be involved. And then eventually it will be owned by the Regional Planning Commission as part of the comprehensive plan, because it is a point in the comprehensive plan is expand rural broadband. So this is just taking that, one thing that's in this 30-year plan that the county helped make happen and really working on it. So that's what I'm excited to share with the public today in the presence of the folks that are helping get it done. So any questions from the commissioners on our path forward right now?
Well, who did you say at the end would own this?
So it's going to be part of the Regional Planning Commission
Okay.
as part of owning the comprehensive plan. We, of course, from an economic development perspective, will be working with them if there are projects and things that we can help with, we will do.
Yeah, I think just how we got here was, from my perspective, all the commissioners were getting emails and phone calls about broadband. And it's not really the commissioner's role to figure out broadband in that part of the county or this part of the county. So, I was a little bit over my head as far as how to even go about it, because I had school superintendents, we've got state reps, we've got township trustees, and so I think as commissioners, we feel the best thing we could do is support a well-done study involving all the stakeholders. And when this RFQ comes back, at some point, we were going to be asked to review and to fund this final study. Then that would be our contribution to the county as commissioners. Then I think it's who we will assist, but financially, I think that's that's what we are being asked to do. Of course, that's not today, but that's where we're headed with this. And then in the end, we will be able to say to anybody that wants to come to our county or wants to bring up broadband in any area of the county, we have this comprehensive study, and we'll turn it over to that study and to regional planning along with you and others, right? That's going to be the process to follow up, so.
I know it's very important to our citizens. I get multiple calls and messages about it almost every week, so, and I know it's very important to our citizens.
Yeah, I think in the future, it's not going away, so this will be something we'll be able to use going forward.
Well, thanks for everyone's work so far.
Absolutely. And one of the township trustees is part of that. How do you feel about it, Bill?
Well, I think it's great. We need to head down this path, like you say, it's so hodgepodge kind of around, in a rural area and stuff. There's spots that have good access, and there's spots that have zero access or tough access at it. So, we support the direction we're heading.
We appreciate the township participation.
Okay, health insurance. I see that Kim Bond has joined us electronic, right? So I will, Kim, if you're able, I'm turn over to you as far as where we're at with the county's health insurance plan.
Good morning. I apologize that I'm not in the office this morning. I'm happy to be here, Commissioner Kirschner, Commissioner Paradiso, and Commissioner Schaaf. I appreciate the partnership that we have together. I wanted to provide the recommendation from the Health Insurance Committee. We had a meeting on Tuesday, September 14th, and my name is Kim Bond, First Insurance Group from 1650 North County Line Street, Suite 200 in Fostoria, Ohio. And we have good news, I believe, today. Some of the recommendations from the Health Insurance Committee, they recommended with SEPCO for a new 3-year contract. The SEPCO renewal this year is 0% increase effective January 1, 2022. SEPCO, partnership has been very good for the county over the last several years. They also are adding an employee assistance program to the plan. It is confidential, it's called ComSite, and it's available to all employees and family members within the county. The Health Insurance Committee also recommended no change to the current rates. The county and employee contributions, it's requested to remain the same. There's no change in the deductible, the $2,800 deductible plan this year. Per the government regulations, there's no need to increase that. The Health Insurance Committee also recommended a premium holiday for the employees only, one time only for the month of November, 2 pays only. There will be no premium holiday recommended for the county portion of the premiums due to maintaining appropriate reserves for the county. The Health Insurance Committee also recommended renewing with Guardian for all the ancillary benefits, the life insurance, accidental death and dismemberment, voluntary life, dental and vision. They held all rates for the upcoming 22 calendar year. First insurance group fees were anticipated to increase per contract that we had put in a couple years ago, effective January 1, 2022. We requested, in light of the no increase renewal from everyone else, that I would rescind that increase in our contract, and there's no increase to our fees for 2022. And last, the insurance committee, assuming that the commissioners opt to deposit gift account contributions into the employee plans this year, the recommendation, there just needed some clarification in the plan, no changes per se. We wanted to reiterate a written policy that if an individual has a qualifying event throughout the year, there is no additional increase put into their account. Those are the recommendations that I have. Are there any questions at all?
Nice job, Kim. Stace?
Yeah, I mean, she hit everything. SEPCO, no increase this year. I think there was any range from a minus, I think it was 4% up to a 10% increase for various county entities. So us getting a 0 was very good. The program, the ComPsych Employee Assistance Program, talking with Jamie, especially Jamie and Ginger, we have actually been getting quite a few calls from department heads, employees about this program, which we didn't have before. So we were actually going to look into doing one outside of the SEPCO, but this year SEPCO came in. It just gives the employees somewhere to go to. And I don't know all the details, Kim or Jamie can help me out on this, but the employees can go to, it's confidential to talk to if you're having, divorce issues, having domestic issues. Just
there are several pieces to this, Stacy. It's counseling for stress, anxiety, depression, it's financial counseling with certified public accountants, legal resources for families, debt, bankruptcy, work-life solutions, adult care, moving, relocation, college planning. There are tutorials. There's a lot of exciting resources available through ComPsych, and in the time of COVID and a lot of uncertainty in the world, this is something that I think is extremely needed and hopefully will be very much utilized by the county employees and their families.
All of those things are very important.
Yeah, and they also have offered to do that to all employees and not just the employees that are on the health insurance. Because that was a concern with, there's quite a few that are not on our health insurance, and they have offered to do it for all county employees.
Good.
That is correct. And again, as Stacy mentioned, Seneca coming in with a 0% increase this year. Last year for the county, you had a 3.8% increase, which was offset. We held zero for everyone because the prior year was a 2.8% decrease. So overall, long-term, this has been good for the county. And there were counties that got as high as 13% increases this year.
So Kim, do we, or Stace, should we pass in the form of a resolution this
HSA.
HSA contribution
updated-
policy?
Yeah, we'll just have to amend the original.
Do we do that next time, or can we do it now?
We can do it now, or we can do it, yeah,
Okay. And then, so let's do that.
okay, with the rest
So
of
there was some confusion with, so we fund the HSA at the beginning of the year. And so if you're single and March comes and you get married, you go on a family plan, that HSA amount would have been higher if you were married in January versus the triggering event throughout the year. This clarifies, it's legal that we fund it once a year, and that's it. And so whatever you are on that date, that's what the HSA contribution will be for, because it could work the other way.
Right,
You could be married and then not married. And so this clarifies it. Committee recommends this. It's legal. We got a legal opinion. It's good.
yep.
So
Now, new employees obviously can come on, they'll get a prorated,
new employees would get prorated.
yep.
So if that makes sense, if I didn't botch that up, I said that right, I would like to make a motion that we approve this Seneca County HSA employer contribution policy. And this will be added, incorporated into our
Yep.
overall
Yep.
health insurance policy.
Yep.
And to approve the renewal recommendations.
And approve the renewal recommendations.
Okay.
Second the motion.
Okay, any additional discussion? Hearing none, Kylie?
Commissioner Shook,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes.
Uh,
Kim,
no-
good job, thank you very much. I think we've got everything we needed today.
Well, the only
You're
thing,
welcome. I just wanted to say thank you very much for your partnership with First Insurance, with myself, with Lori Hoot. We appreciate the opportunity to partner with you and work with you. Thank you so much.
Kim. The only other recommendation that the Health Insurance Committee had would be to keep the HSA contributions where they are. And I think Tony and I both kind of said, well, once we get into budgets a little bit more, I don't think we were ready to make that commitment quite yet. But obviously that was the recommendation of the committee too, to keep the $750 for single and $1,500 for family.
Yeah, I believe that will be the number, but let's make it part of the budget process.
Yep.
Yeah, I concur with that. Okay, I think that's a good number, but
And they are changing the wellness program just a little bit, but they don't have all the details. We're hoping to have all that information in prior to our open enrollment.
Okay.
So
All right, very good.
I think that's everything.
Any other discussion on that topic? Okay, hearing none, we'll get into new business.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank
Kim.
you. Thank you, Kim.
All right, stop sharing that. All right, so these might be a little out of order with my agenda. Just gonna read them off my screen because that way I have the the descriptions. So I have a supplemental appropriation from Victims Assistance, putting $15,000 into their transfers out. I think she had moved some money around before. This is actually moving the cash. She has a October to September grant cycle, so that's why hers is a little different. So she needs to transfer what's left out of her one book account to the other. The next one is request from Juvenile Probate Court. This is $14,148 into the equipment line. They are using some of their grant funding to help the youth center purchase a new van. They have a couple cars that just doesn't seem to meet their needs. One of them, the commissioners will take into our fleet and help supplement this budget. Other than that, it's all coming out of the grant funding in the youth center.
Do you know what kind of vehicle it is?
It was a 2021
Ford
Explorer. Yeah, they were trying to get a van, and because of the airbags and where they placed the airbags in the new vans, they couldn't put the cage in the back. So the next step that was available that could get the enclosure, the cages in it, was a Ford Explorer.
Okay.
So she has been trying to get a vehicle from all the dealerships in town. She wasn't specific on anything. Every time she found one, somebody was buying it. So this one she kind of jumped on. They have their money, getting their money in place. So
What's the plan for the Explorer then? You said it's going to go back into the county fleet?
she has is it a Taurus?
Fusion.
Fusion, a Ford Fusion. They had already had a Ford Fusion. I think they have two, but they don't use it very often. They do it for local runs. And we had sold our Terrain to Mark Zimmerman when COVID happened. He needed a vehicle, was going to do some driving around the county, checking the stop signs, everything, doing an inventory. So he asked if he could use it. Obviously, we weren't traveling. He used it quite a bit. He asked us if we'd be interested in selling it, which we were going to talk about upgrading some of our fleet anyway. So that Mark ended up buying our Terrain. So that's money we'll use to get this. Probably still looking at an additional vehicle maybe next year.
I was just curious. I wasn't sure if it was something that the sheriff's department could utilize or not. That's why I was asking what kind of vehicle. We're just curious.
Yeah, they have our Cobalt. They use it to take to training. So they had asked if they could keep that, and that was another car that we talked about replacing just because of the age of it. And they said it works perfect for them for their just back and forth to their training. So the sheriff's office has that.
Thank you.
My next is from Job and Family Services, requesting $97,000 into their WIA shared cost. Additional funds needed to reimburse the Public Assistance Fund. I have the request from the Treasurer's Office, an additional $1,856.47 into the salary treasurer's line, $26.95 into the Medicare line, $259.91 into the PERS line. This was a correction from, if I understand, 2019. Paul's salary was not paid correctly. The auditor's office usually does that calculation and notified Paul that he needed additional funds to get that corrected. So that's what that one is for. And then I have a request from Soil and Water for other expense, $87,095, and this is to refund for charges on an assessment that shouldn't have been charged, so they are refunding those expenses, those charges. I have a request from the engineer's office, putting $48,000 into their contract projects needed for the striping and roads for the remainder of 2021. I have a request from ditch maintenance. This is for $20,653.41 into their maintenance assessment. Is this the second half collection fees? Okay. And I think that is all the financials I have. And I think you kind of already did the renewal and accepting the plan. And did we do the authorizing the participation agreement with the County Employees Benefit Consortium of Ohio pending prosecutor's approval? It goes along with the plan design. I have a resolution accepting the governance plan of operation for electrical power aggregation. This is what Amy Hoffman was in a few weeks ago that said needed signed. Do I have another one here? Oh, that was another one, Kylie. Is there another one?
It should be, is it paper clipped right behind it? Other page maybe?
Oh, yep, they were attached. And I have a resolution entering into a memorandum of understanding for electric between the Seneca County and CCAO Services Corporation. We did get an email from Mayor Motz, if you remember, when Amy was here. So, you know, we're gonna reach out to NOPEC and have some discussions with them. Amy pulled the reports, and currently CCAO is at a lower rate, but I mentioned to her that they offer some grants, so we are gonna look into that for the next program, at least to explore it, because the mayor seems to be happy with the results they're getting from NOPEC. And CCAO recommends Palmer, that's who they use, that's who we've always used through CCAO, but, you know, we're not opposed to looking at something else.
Good, yeah, I was kind of wondering. I'm glad you brought that up.
I think that's all I have.
Okay. Any discussion amongst any of the items? Everybody okay with everything? Hearing none?
So,
Accept the motion for approval.
so moved.
Second?
Okay. Kylie?
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay.
As we part ways and we're getting into the budget process, Stace, we're following your lead on this, right? So we've got 4 weeks left now. I mean, the clock's ticking as time
Right.
goes by. Are you happy with what you're receiving so far, that kind of thing?
I have not checked the system to see if anybody has put any budgets in. I have had a couple calls to help clarify. I know the auditor's office is still doing some training in the analytics where they need to put their amounts in. So I've gotten a couple just trying to figure out, you know, where we at. I've had a couple ask me about raises, and I said the commissioners have not discussed that yet. So if you're submitting them, you know, please don't include that. If the commissioners decide to move forward with raises, they will add that to the budget.
Which is
When they
how we
approve it.
normally do it, right?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Some do add, and then we usually take it out until we approve it, but, so I've had a few reach out to me. Obviously, any department that is looking to have an increase from the 2021 budget, you guys had mentioned you wanted to do some sort of budget hearings to discuss the budget, to discuss the increases. You know, we need to talk about the capital improvement fund, set some priorities on that. So I'll probably have John come in and go over some priorities, kind of things you guys are thinking of, kind of the things John's got on his list.
That'd be good.
That's a great segue, because I think on the agenda next week, we need to have a discussion regarding scheduling through the end of the year for commissioner meetings. Holidays and all those kind of things happen. So we need to get those dates firmed up.
Including
And-
budget hearings.
And come up with some dates for budget hearings.
Definitely.
I don't know that it's just gonna be necessary to have budget hearings with every department and every elected. But those, when they initially submit to you their budgets that are, you know, some range above what it was this year, that we probably need to have the discussions.
So we could just block time and then maybe not put in who we would invite in.
Right.
But I like his idea of having a calendar
Yep, we can do that.
approved.
I think it almost has to be outside the normal meetings, because,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of a one or two topic discussion.
Tuesdays or so, Tuesday or something. So the budget commission met yesterday, the day
But
before.
not
Monday?
yesterday, Monday.
Monday, and then,
They're gonna meet again early October.
will we know, are they, I know that this always converses, but, are you expecting a number for next year?
Discussion Monday was that, you know,
In
the
October.
numbers through 3/4 of the year, obviously through September, by the time we meet in October. And at that point, we'll have some pretty firm numbers to be able to forecast where we're gonna be. And then the discussions will begin for a number to be certified. Right now, it looks pretty good, but
Of course, we're gonna need that number for the.
we're gonna need the number as we start the budget
So
discussion.
why, the whole COVID thing happened in March. Why were we in? So it was January of this year. Everything was goofy last year. I got it, coming off that COVID year. We couldn't get the number and we were making some changes.
Yeah, it was just
late in
unsure.
the
We
year.
weren't sure where
Yeah.
revenue was gonna come in
Because
at.
of COVID from March to,
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, it's, made everybody nervous about a lot of
So
things, but,
what we're doing now is a normal cycle.
yep,
Commissioner Schuff.
in retrospect, if you look
My
at
third
the
one.
sales tax, real estate tax, et cetera, there really hasn't been any dips or any big
Yeah,
peaks
Pretty steady. Yeah.
from 2018 all the way through today.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been a steady.
which is mind-boggling, but
It's a good.
that's what it is.
I think their requests for revenues are due the 12th, and then their budget commission hearing is the 20th, 19th. Tuesday the 19th is the next budget commission, so they're giving them a week between when they're due, when the budget commission's gonna meet, hopefully have a number for us. Budgets are due by the 22nd, so I'll look at the calendar for the next few weeks to see.
Yeah, I would ask respectfully that we, being the commissioners and yourself, receive year-to-date numbers as of the end of September as quickly as we can get them.
Yep.
Prior to the budget hearings, or prior to the discussion with the auditor and the prosecutor and the treasurer
Sure.
about
Thank
what
you.
the numbers
That's
will
good.
be, so that at least we've got some understanding of what things are and what the logic is.
Yep.
Because most of the time we go into those meetings getting the numbers that morning.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have them in advance if possible.
Yep.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Audrey, finally, the interesting part of the meeting.
Thanks, Mike.
No problem.
The only thing I have to add today is the announcement since last week that was big was from QuickTab 2. Big investment there from that company. As usual, you can find that on our Facebook and website, or reach out to Nick if you have questions about that. And from Amy from our downtown side, on behalf of her today, we would like to invite you to the Downtown Summit at the Chandelier starting at 5:30 p.m. Other than that, nothing new from us. Any
The
questions
QuickTab
for
2 is a great story. I mean, I'm sure they tell it, but these are guys that are making tabs for back in the day for the Turnpike Commission that are pretty much gone away now, that they've had to adjust and come up with new technology themselves, et cetera. Wonderful, they've been in business, I'm sure, over 30 years. I don't know how long for sure, but it's a great story as to somebody being able to be spry enough to be able to make changes to continue to be successful, so congratulations to them.
Yes.
Did you guys help them find grant money as far as getting some of the new equipment goes, or on your end, like, how was that facilitated?
There was no state support provided, and they were doing an equipment investment, so there was no real property tax exemptions that could be provided. So it's just another example of a company doing their thing and us doing our job and letting the people in this community and outside the community know we got another great company that for years and years continues to invest and strengthen its workforce and its commitment. So we're excited to tell that
When
story.
you
It's good
go out
news.
there, when you drive out to industrial, you see Zach Carroll, he's expanded 2-3 times. Sunoco's expanded. Owens Corning expanded. Tio's expanded. It's pretty cool to see once we get the employer here, how they've continued to reinvest in the community. And that's the
Absolutely.
part, I think, I've grown to appreciate. We do take the time to support the people that are here. It's not all about just recruiting new people
That's
and
absolutely
forgetting
correct.
about them. And QuickTap's another one of those stories where they just keep, Mike
Well-
said, reinventing themselves and
It's like that Johnny Cash song, one piece at a time.
Yeah, and Mike knows this. I mean, this was
That's a
one
neat
of
story
the,
out there.
one of the spec buildings that Rich and Sida
Yep.
put together. And
Yeah,
that allowed them to
They started
expand
on Wall Street there.
when that park
Was
was
that the
developed.
Snooka building? Which one was it? The first building?
Sunoco was the
Yeah,
first,
that
was the first spec building
Yeah,
we ever did, yeah.
it's just amazing out there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see the same thing.
Yep,
I forget what it's called to the left there. where
absolutely.
Fine Center as that whole area.
Yeah. So we'll-
Anyhow, good job.
Yeah, thanks. So one other thing I'll add to Audrey's, that happened this morning, so it's not in her
Oh, yes.
report. So the Northwest Career Ready Business Advisory Council, this is a regional business advisory, every school district has to have a business advisory council. How they get work-based learning into the schools, how they work and develop partnerships, how do they find out what's going on in the job market, and know what kind of skills the kids need to have to be successful. They're all required to have it. So we've, over the last couple of years, built one. So we have all the schools from the county. We've got 5 counties well, all schools from this county, including individual schools like North Central Academy and Calvert, also part of this district. So we got like 15 districts, and we approved our plan. So Chandler Grooms, who started a couple of weeks ago, we got a plan. We got 18 specific action items that we're launching on, and so everybody's super excited. So that's good, more good news.
Good addition to the team.
Perfect.
Oh, just one more thing.
Yes.
I know you heard from me a lot about this last week when we presented, but if anyone in the public or any organization has a project that they're working on within the city of Tiffin, that they would like to submit to Dream Big Tiffin, where we will prioritize that project with everything else that's going on and then help them find the resources and funding that they need to carry those projects across the finish line, have them reach out to me directly or just go to dreambigtiffin.com and submit that. And also if the public just has any ideas they would like for improvements for the city of Tiffin, they can submit those there as well. So just a reminder, that's open until October 15th.
Someone asked me about that. So this is our second round doing this for the Dream Big. Are we planning anything in the future as far as doing something countywide for maybe like the villages or where we got more land to kind of play with?
Regional planning, yeah.
Yeah, so TSEP does our contract for community development just for the city of Tiffin.
Okay.
And regional planning is your community development lead for the county. She does have a similar program that doesn't run exactly like how we're running Dream Big, but it's a similar concept in See Seneca Grow. So I'm sure she would love to share more about that with you and her thoughts for that process.
Great.
But we are always working with Charlene to partner on any projects that might be a county project. But if it is happening within the city or related to the city projects, we do partner on those and vice versa. If someone submits something to us that's more of a county project, she and I do coordinate those type of things, and we're always happy to support each other.
Glad to hear. 'Cause someone asked me about that, if it was Tiffin exclusive or if it was countywide, and I want to make sure I found the right answer, so
Yep.
thank you for that.
Good question.
One more reminder, Tyler gave us one about the Downtown Summit tonight. Don't forget, if you can get there, get there. And also remember the presentation at the museum on the 30th. Get that on your calendar. It'd be, if you haven't been in the museum lately, I think it'll be well worth the trip, and the story will be some fun as well.
All right.
Okay, Jimmy, make the announcement.
All right, if you're joining us on the Zoom call, go ahead and put in the chat there that you would like to speak, and we will unmute you and let you come forward now.
I asked Ken to kind of give you an update on some of the squads.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you guys know.
let me get Ben in first. And,
Oh, okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Just quickly, working with the OSS Solid Waste District to do the October 6th meeting somewhere in Fostoria and include a trip out to our facility to make all commissioners. I just communicated back and forth with Gary, and the one location we were trying to get is not available, so he's working on a couple other ones. So we'll keep you posted. And Wind Waste Innovations, Sunny Farms Landfill, is happy to be partnering with Jacob Beeler and the Sandusky River Water Cleanup, which is scheduled for Saturday. However, I'm not sure how the water impacts. Potentially, it'll all be. It won't be here anymore. It'll all be gone. but so I don't know if that will be delayed or not. But we've partnered with them this year to provide some funding and resources, and we're happy to do that. Wind Waste Innovations, one of our primary environmental goals is clean water. So, we're happy to work on that with them, especially right here in Ohio with the Great Lakes.
Perfect.
Any questions for me?
No, thank you.
What was that
Great.
date, what was the date again on the Fostoria?
October 6th, Wednesday, October 6th is the OSS.
First Wednesday of the month. Yeah.
It's an early meeting now.
Yeah.
What's that like the one we had in
I
our
think I'll
county,
just stay
which is
overnight
4
there and, you know.
So,
Okay. Ken, you say has some words of wisdom?
Yeah, just, there's been a lot of things going on with our trucks and a lot of questions going around, so I thought I'd see if you could give a quick update.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get something.
Ken, please.
While you talk.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good
Morning.
Yeah, we've had several breakdowns over the past few weeks and also today. We've had a lot of electrical issues with our trucks. And the problem of the breakdowns is they're electrical and the component parts available to fix those trucks are not available. We had a ECM module scheduled to arrive yesterday from an overseas supplier because it was the only one in the world that we could find. And we received an email instead of a package that said, sorry, your order was canceled, that's no longer available. And then this morning we had another truck breakdown and now we are scrambling to try and find a backup unit from either another county. I've reached out to Delaware, Sandusky County, both cities. We were unable to find a serviceable backup unit to use. And I just am now going to be forwarding a quote for a demo unit that is available over by Akron that we can purchase. But we are behind the 8 ball on trucks. We've got 4 ambulances broken and one of our Echoes has what may potentially end up being a blown motor.
wow.
Yeah. We do have trucks on order.
Yes, we've done that.
So,
Would the demo truck from Akron, would that replace one of the trucks we have on order, or would that be an additional truck that you'd have to have now that you've got more down?
It would be additional, the truck that we have.
We only have 1 ambulance on order.
Yeah.
okay. So Ken, 202 and 801 are out of commission?
801 came back today, but
Okay, which ones are
there's a lot
out?
of back feeds. Hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
801 came back today and we redeployed it, put it in service over in Bloomville because that just broke this morning. And 801 has the same symptoms that 202 had before it threw a piston through the side of the motor.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time for that one. So 401,
Yes, sir.
401's out of service?
Yes, sir. It's at the shop right now and so is 601.
I would say if you got this demo in Akron and we have the opportunity to get it, we better get it. I don't see it getting any better.
Yeah, I don't either. Because the Attica unit and then Bettsville unit you're using, right?
Yes, sir. Our 2016 units, which are
Somewhere
948, 950, and 951, are all 3 the 2016 new wheel coaches. They're in service. And then that, and we have a 2005 backup unit in service. That's all we have on the road right now.
So we were weren't we buying a vehicle was it every 5 years? We were buying one vehicle?
Every 3.
Every 3, and somehow, it's just, I get it.
Okay,
I'm
so
back
what-
to Commissioner Kirschner.
What's the story on the Akron one more time, Ken? When can you get it, and what would the cost be initially?
I'm working on getting an actual quote on that truck right now. I talked to a gentleman from a dealer we bought with before in Akron, and the cost is $185,000. It is a 2019 demo unit that just became available yesterday. And we may be able to take delivery of it by the end of next week, but I don't know how it's completely outfitted. It may need to have a lift system put into it. There may be some other things that needs done. I haven't seen the actual spec sheet on it yet.
Okay.
I'm just trying to grab at what I can to try and get a truck that's usable.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll continue to look throughout the day here.
Yes, sir.
Let us know.
So-
If we need to call a special session for an appropriation, we can do that.
You could use CARES.
Yes, sir. I actually have the sales rep from, it's 911 Fleet and Fire. Right now, I was just talking to him prior to coming on here so we can get something moving on this.
Okay.
So 801 is just on borrowed time, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're checking the oil every time it's run and adding oil as necessary. The only way to fix that oil leak, according to the the dealership is to tear the motor down completely and replace the seals at the bottom end of the motor. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't really know exactly, but it needs to be rebuilt essentially.
And then, yeah, so we don't have a backup.
No, sir.
Yeah, so
That's a problem.
that's the backup.
Every time our backup comes back from the shop, it goes in service immediately because something else breaks.
We're on.
We're in a perfect storm of electrical problems is what's happening. And the component parts are not available for whatever reason.
Hey, can I have a question for you? Not to get too far off
Yes.
topic, but while we're on Unit 801, did you get that email I sent you a few days ago, or did you have a response I could give back to Bob Dibble out of Kansas?
Yes, sir. I replied to that email within 4 hours of receiving it from Chief Battle, and I sent that to my boss, Stacy, because I have to follow chain of command because I don't work for the fire departments. I work for you.
And what's our response?
That's why
Do we have a response?
We do not see the need to change our numbering on our vehicles at this time. Basically, the chief over there must call himself 801, and since our 801 squad's in service more often, he seems to think there's some confusion going on. We've had 801 since 2008, probably long before that, but if I remember your email correctly. I just think it would lend to more confusion, especially with all of our squads being out right now. I don't think this is a good time to try to rename or...
Maybe you can rename
And
his
I
number.
think, Ken, correct me if I'm wrong, 801 was the county backup, and our two paid people that take runs into Bascom, Bettsville area are using 801 into that area, using that vehicle, or were using that vehicle. You shuffled them around. So there were probably more 801 calls in that area, EMS calls. So the Kansas Fire Chief, who's 801, but I think that's a temporary, at worst, this is a temporary situation, right? That we're not gonna continue to run 801 into there, and we're not gonna continue to run from your office forever into that area, so I think in due time.
That's correct.
I think in due time, this will solve itself, will work itself out.
Yes, sir. Our vehicle numbers were assigned by the state in the mid-70s. It started off as 74A0101. And then, because we were the first EMS service, pure EMS service in Seneca County in 1978, 77, 78. So they came up with a naming convention at systems development at the EMFTS board, which is Emergency Medical Fire Transportation Service Board. And those numbers were assigned to us in the mid-70s as 74A0101, 0201, 0301, 01, and 501. And then we bought two more trucks, and then keeping with that traditional naming convention, we moved to 801. And if there are more than one vehicle in each deployed area, then the 02 number applies. So 202 is where that came from. And as long as we don't exceed 10 units, we don't have to move to larger numbers. But the state, in their wisdom in the 70s, saw fit to use a 4-digit number so that if we do end up with more than 10 trucks, we can actually go to a 1,000 series number, and it would still apply in the state's recommendation. The problem with it is all of our medical records, all the way back to 1978, are still on file with the state board by those numbers assigned by what unit transported them. So if we remove 801 from our naming convention, any patient that's been transported by that unit, as soon as you change that in the computer, it widows and orphans those documents, and they can no longer be searchable in the database. So I don't have any problem naming the vehicle whatever we'd like to name it, but it has to stay that for the paperwork, the documentation, and inside the system for tracking for trauma, heart attack, stroke, and any other reportable illness like communicable diseases that we're experiencing right now.
And one more question on EMS.
Yes, sir.
So and then dispatch, so I'm thinking that this also affects dispatch as well, right?
Yes, sir.
This
Our
does-
911 database and the CAD system has those numbers assigned in it for EMS vehicles in Seneca County. And I don't know what it would take to change that. I've asked John to do some research on that, and we are still waiting for a callback from our vendor for CAD and our 911 database. And I don't believe that'll be a cheap change if we do decide to change it from 801 to and whatever else.
So did we reply to the fire chief? I think that's the answer, right? The consensus is we're not gonna change it, and that I personally think in maybe 90 days or something like that, Ken, in due time, we won't have 801 running in that area. It'll be running somewhere else in the county. Not that it never could go there, but
Right.
it goes there on a regular basis now. While it's going there.
To make light of it, if we can't get parts, we won't have any ambulances too long, because they keep breaking faster than we can replace them.
We got a new one ordered, and I think, follow up with that one available in Akron.
Yeah, we're actually scavenging parts off one to make another one work right now, and trying to do that.
Have we started to gather quotes as far as getting the seals for some of those units, or looking into trying to repair them, or is it past that?
Yes, sir, there's two of them sitting at three of them sitting right now. One's at the dealer and two are at BD Diesel in Bascom, because the BD Diesel does such a great job with their electrical work, but their hands are tied by the ability to receive components from a vendor.
It's frustrating.
And we're talking about electronic control modules, which is the main computer for the motor, and then also a primary control module, which has something to do with the electrical switching to the chassis power to the module power. And those components are made overseas and only overseas, and we're having a hard time finding them.
Okay.
All right, thanks for the update, Ken, appreciate it.
Thanks, Ken.
Yes, sir.
Jim, anybody else out there with any hands raised?
Shirley, any questions, comments? Okay.
When is your candidate tonight, Shirley, coming up here?
Yeah, October. I gotta look to see what the date is.
I might as well make that announcement. We're early.
13th, is that what it is? Seems like it.
You keep us all straight. You're awesome.
Don't quote me on that.
Friday the 13th, right?
That's a Wednesday.
No, it's a Wednesday.
Where am I supposed to be at noon today?
Give me a minute, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you.
October 13th.
October 13th, Wednesday, October 13th. I assume at the middle school where
Yes,
ours is.
yes,
And I assume it's 7 o'clock.
yes. And it's, at this point, it's gonna be virtual. I mean, you know, the candidates will be there, but the audience will be virtual.
Virtual, okay. So there's a lot of school board candidates,
Lots of them.
trustees,
Trustees.
township trustees,
And
and
city.
Six city council
And
people.
city.
Council.
3 seats.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be discussing the potential changes to the city's charter as one of the issues on the ballot
Yes.
as well.
Okay. All right, let's make sure we make that announcement. Everybody
It wasn't
knows.
too long ago, we didn't have very many candidates, but they've
They've really
poured in.
poured in, yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Good.
Competition's good.
Okay. Thomas, William, anything?
We're good.
We are adjourned.